In this story, something happened that changed everything. It all started in the kitchen, a place where everyday moments took a dark turn. What followed was a whirlwind of tension, guilt, and difficult decisions. This is the true story of what happened when boundaries were crossed and the emotional consequences that came with it. Lesson 1. Catalyst moment. Taking action fast. A small leak can sink a big ship. If you don't fix it quickly, the whole thing will go down. If you ignore the first signs of a problem, it will only get worse. That moment, the catalyst, is your chance to stop things from getting out of control. If you let it pass, you'll find yourself trapped in a mess that's much harder to fix. Don't wait when you see a problem starting. Act fast. Face it head on before it grows bigger. The earlier you act, the more control you have over the situation. Lesson 2. Acknowledgement of unspoken tension. Facing the truth. Have you ever ignored the elephant in the room? It just keeps growing bigger and bigger until you can't escape it anymore. If you keep avoiding the tension, it only builds up. Eventually, it will explode, and you'll regret not addressing it sooner. The longer you ignore it, the harder it becomes to fix. Don't pretend everything's fine when it's not. Acknowledge the tension and deal with it. It's always better to face uncomfortable truths head on rather than let them fester and cause bigger problems down the line. Lesson 3. Moral and emotional dilemma. The battle within. Ever had to make a choice where your gut is telling you one thing, but your heart is pulling you in another direction? You're stuck, right? Torn between what feels right and what seems easier. If you ignore the emotional conflict inside you, you'll end up in a situation where you can't live with yourself. The guilt, the confusion, the regret. It'll eat you up from the inside. You might go with the easier choice in the moment, but deep down, you'll know you compromised your values. It'll haunt you later, and when you least expect it, it will resurface with a vengeance. Stop running from your moral and emotional dilemmas. The struggle is real, but so is the need to make the right choice. Even if it feels tough, your peace of mind and self-respect are worth the fight. Trust that facing those tough decisions now will save you from carrying the weight of regret for the rest of your life. Don't let that inner conflict turn into a ticking time bomb. Lesson 4. Continued tension. The silent killer. Think about the last time you had an unresolved argument with someone. Did it feel like you were walking on eggshells every time you saw them? That kind of tension doesn't just disappear. It lingers, grows, and poisons everything around it. If you let tension drag on without addressing it, it will consume you. That quiet frustration, the awkward silences, the emotional distance, it builds up until one day. It blows up until one day. It blows up in your face. The more you avoid it, the harder it is to fix. Relationships suffer. Trust erodes, and you lose more than just peace of mind. You lose the ability to move forward. Don't let tension fester like an untreated wound. Face the discomfort. Have the tough conversations. And clear the air. It may be painful in the short term, but it's nothing compared to the damage of letting it drag on. The longer you wait, the worse it gets. Address the issues now before they poison everything you care about. Lesson 5. Emotional conflict. The battle within. Ever felt like you're at war with yourself? You want to make the right choice, but your emotions keep pulling you in different directions. It's like trying to steer a car with 2 steering wheels. Nothing feels right. If you keep avoiding that internal conflict, it doesn't go away. It eats you alive. You'll find yourself making decisions that don't align with who you are or what you truly want. You'll end up stuck in a cycle of guilt, confusion, and regret. You won't know what's real anymore, and your emotions will control you instead of you controlling them. Stop ignoring your inner turmoil. Take time to understand what's driving your emotions, and don't let them control you. Self-reflection is key. Face your feelings, address them, and make choices that align with your values. Emotional clarity is crucial. If you don't deal with the conflict inside, it will consume everything outside. Lesson 6. Acknowledging the situation, facing reality head-on. Imagine looking in the mirror and pretending not to see the mess you've made. You know it's there, but you just turn away. But ignoring the situation won't make it disappear. It only makes it worse. If you don't acknowledge what's happening, you allow the situation to spiral out of control. Things don't magically fix themselves. The more you avoid confronting the truth, the more trapped you become in your own denial. Eventually, the situation will overwhelm you, and you won't have the power to fix it when it's too late. Stop running from reality. Face the situation, no matter how difficult it may seem. Acknowledge what's happening and take responsibility for your part in it. Only then can you make the right choices and change the course of things. Ignoring it will only make it harder to fix later. Lesson 7. Moment of intimacy. Breaking down walls. Think about when you finally open up to someone you trust, letting go of your fears and sharing your true feelings. That moment of vulnerability can create a deep connection, stronger than anything you could force. If you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable and intimate, you're stuck behind walls that prevent real connections. It's easy to remain distant, but that distance will only lead to loneliness and emotional isolation. Without that moment of true intimacy, you risk the relationship falling apart because the real connection never happened. Break down the walls. Let go of the fear of being judged or misunderstood. Embrace the discomfort of vulnerability. True intimacy comes when we stop pretending to be perfect and start being real with each other. That's when relationships can truly grow and thrive. Now we are about to end the video. Now it is time to change your life. Write down a comment and say that you want to change your life. No matter how difficult it is to change, I will read each of your comment and feature one of the best comment in our channel. If you want a daily dose of unfiltered motivation, subscribe to our channel.